My name is Jake. Ever since that incident with my friend Daniel, and the rest of the poor people who died horribly to that cursed spawnable, I never touched Garden Warfare 2 and left it in my attic, traumatized. In middle school, I was always reminded of Daniel, because the principal announced his unknown death 2 days later after the incident. My classmates have been talking non-stop about the death of Daniel, wondering how he died, or was he kidnapped? Like any theory out there that would be thrown into the cauldron. When my classmates asked me, I said I knew nothing because I know nobody would believe what I had to say. I was the only one there to witness the horrific event. The topic of the death of my friend Daniel has slowly dwindled down after 5 months. But what wasn't gone was the pain, just seeing a friend gone in such a gruesome manner. It's something hard to get off your mind. Even if I was supported by my friends, William and Jaden, and also my family from the trauma I suffered, I still never told my friends what really happened. I know they would have never believed me. Today is 2021. I'm currently in high school of my sophomore year. Well, was, as it was the last day of school of this year. So me and my friends William and Jaden had summer break. We celebrated, and of course, we had plans on what to do, like playing video games, going out to places to eat, or just having fun in general. You get the gist. Before we had to go back into high school. In the beginning of our summer break, me and my friends decided to play video games first. We played newer games, and to be honest, the newer games were not bad at all. It was amazing. I thought this year was not going to ruin anything, just to enjoy a casual break. However, on a particular day in June, my parents went out of the house for something important, and left me in charge of the house. That means I had the whole house to myself. And so, I got on my Xbox to play with my friends. We were planning on what to do and what game we should play. That's until Jaden decided that we should play an old game, which was Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2. I told them I didn't feel comfortable playing that game due to the previous events with Garden Warfare 2, but they insisted that I should. Just a few rounds, William said. Jaden also insisted.
Yeah, just like the good old days of Garden Warfare 2.
He cracked a few jokes of what we did around 2016 when the game was released, and of course, I chuckled. Same with Will. Now, I thought to myself to get over the death of my friend Daniel and the others that have died along with him, as I didn't hear any more reports of people dying in such a gruesome manner of decay and blood. Keep in mind, I was paranoid that weed would come back, but I tried reassuring myself that weed was only a one-time thing and would never come back to hurt anyone else. I told my friends I would be right back to get GW2 since I had it up in my attic. I remembered where I placed it. It was in a very old, dusty cardboard box that has been sitting up there for years. I climbed up and walked over to open the box, only for me to be coughing from the amount of dust there was. But looking around, there it was, GW2, covered in dust, an old memory. I picked it up and decided to clean it, taking a deep breath as I try not to think of what happened with Daniel. I came back to my friends, popped in the disc, and said, let's play some Garden Warfare. We entered into a Team Vanquish match and started playing. I didn't feel uneasy since we were in Team Vanquish, one of my favorite modes, as me and my friends had a blast. We lost some and won some. We eventually decided to switch to Turf Takeover. I looked over to see the time on my Xbox out of curiosity while hopping into the portal, not caring what we did as I was having too much fun, but I felt a slight chill down my spine. As the time was exactly 7:40 p.m., the same time me and Daniel would get on to play a match of Garden Warfare 2. I was feeling paranoia creeping in the back of my skull. Just a reminder of Daniel's death. I shaked my head and took a sip of water, not wanting to remember those horrific events that took place, as I can still feel that memory gripping onto my mind like a parasite. We went into a match of gardens and graveyards as our first round. We played as zombies, but throughout the match it seems like we weren't doing so well in capturing the garden, and as a result, we lost. No biggie, it's our first match. William, me, and Jaden will win the next match. But the second match came around and it became the same thing. Another loss, then another, and then another. We kept on losing. As Jaden got a little annoyed, he said,
Man, I'm getting tired of this.
William said, Yeah, we haven't won a single match. Does our team suck that bad? That's when a faint whisper joined in, saying,
You want victory? Ask, and you shall receive.
All of us got startled by that sudden whisper creeping out of nowhere. I asked one of my friends if any one of them said that or tried to pull off a prank. They said no, and I was like, come on guys, seriously, stop. They were serious, as they didn't know what I was talking about. That made me anxious, and my paranoia was crawling back in. But Jaden assumed that it was probably the in-game voice chat trolling, but we were never in the in-game voice chat. The worst part about that is I had everyone muted from that in-game voice chat. I muted myself and took a sip of water to calm myself down. My mind was definitely playing tricks on me. I so hoped it was, as I can feel the drop of sweat leaving from my body. Hearing that faint whisper made my stomach twist a knot inside. I looked back up to see what was on the screen, and it turns out we were getting into a herbal assault match. Moon Bay Sea, the map that was known for my friend's death. It made me have an awful flashback of that event, but I snapped out of it and looked back at the loading screen, thinking that I can deal with it. Even if my hands were sweating and my body was aching a little, I tried to get my mind off of it by talking to my friends. This round, we were playing plants, and we had to capture the first point, which we did successfully, finally, something. That's when William decided to go and spawn in a weed. But in a confused tone, he said, Guys, why is there a dark-looking weed in my spawnable collection? My heart immediately stopped hearing that sentence, made me froze in fear. With desperation, I yelled in the voice chat, William, don't spawn that weed. Ignore it. Please, I'm begging you. Don't spawn it. William and Jane got startled by my sudden yell, as William tried to reassure me and said, Calm down, man. It's probably just a bug. Maybe it'll look funny. It looks like an off-textured weed with an innocent look. Jaden also said,
Yeah, it won't do anything, man. It's just for the fun of it.
I kept yelling, and I kept persisting them to stop it, to not spawn that weed. But it was too late. It rised from the ground with its darkened green leaves, with its inhumane smile, and a dead look with its hollow eyes. It stood still before looking at me, cracking its neck, as it recognized his previous escaped victim. William and Jaden were already creeped out by the weed's visual appearance, seeing that no other weed looks like this in the game with a human-looking smile. They sure knew that they should have listened, but without a blink in the weed's hollow eyes. It looked over at William's character as it shot out a vine through its hand and grabbed William's character, immediately piercing its 2 thorns into his body as we can hear him yelling in pain. He was coughing out hard before suddenly hearing a loud rupturing noise of his body being ripped apart through the voice chat. Hearing nothing but silence. His character was nothing but a bloody mess of decaying plants sprouting out of him. The weed grew more vines from the ground as it looked at me and Jaden. The weed saying,
You will face death.
We both immediately ran to a safe distance with Hyper, since me and Jaden were both pea shooters. We can hear that weed running as we pass through the zombies in a panic, but that was a mistake me and Jaden did, as I knew what this monster did. Turning around, I saw the weed going on a killing spree, becoming more darker and twisted. His antennas became a dry pink color to blood-filled bags, had sharper teeth and claws, roaring out like a vicious animal, as we heard nothing but violent bursts of their chests rupturing with decaying plants and moss. Jaden said,
Screw this, I'm out of here.
From what I can hear in the voice chat, he was trying to leave or do anything to escape that carnage that we did. But he was suddenly pierced by the 2 thorns as he yelled loudly in pain. As I can hear him coughing and cracking, I didn't want to hear him die as I immediately disconnected my console's plug, hoping that would stop it. And the TV turned off. I think it worked.